I mean, you kind of got to hold it sometimes, you know, so you got to keep it in your hands. They love doing that, right? You see them always just hold the award on the TV, am I right? Anyways, thank you, Stuart and Elaine and IMI for this award. This is truly surreal. I'll get on my soapbox about independent filmmaking for a second because I love that crap so much. I made weekly uploads for about 5 years, and at one point I just hit a wall and I'm like, I'm not challenging myself anymore. I'm not pushing myself as an artist. I need to switch things up. And you know, some people might get into knitting in that moment, but instead I decided to make 12 feature-length films in 12 months. You saw a very meta clip there from one of the films. And I did it for a number of reasons. Like I said, to shake up my art, but I also wanted to prove something I've long known to be true, and that's that feature-length filmmaking is possible, fast, cheap, and good. I think there's a lot of elitism around filmmaking. Everyone from film schools to an acquaintance you don't really like, to an old man who's been making movies the same way for 60 years, thinks they have the secret code to make a movie the right way. And the fact of the matter is, there is no right way. I feel like the most agreed upon path is so discouraging to people who want to make movies. And so many people want to make movies. You know, it breaks my heart that everyone's being pitched this, raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, submit it to festivals, and if you get it that far, you got to sell it to a company to make back all that money you just wasted. It doesn't make sense that we're 20 years into this YouTube experiment, we're even longer into this internet experiment, and filmmaking is still in theaters. That's where like narrative feature-length filmmaking is happening. Why are we not seeing it supported and emboldened on the internet? It's like, we know we got the blueprint. We got Clerks 30 years ago. That cost $10,000, but that cost $300,000 to distribute through Columbia. They don't tell you that part. But now the internet gives us free avenues for distribution. We have the tools in our pocket to make films. I don't understand that people are still waiting to make a polished, perfect turd that is never gonna come out, instead of just making something scrappy and imperfect the only way that they can be. You know, like, I'm an imperfect dude. My movies are scrappy, they're imperfect, and that's a good reflection of me. You know, you wanna get to know me, watch all 15 hours of these movies I made. You know, that's a little therapy session in and of itself. And yeah, I guess I just wanna use this moment to say, anyone who has an inkling that they wanna make a movie, don't wait to get permission. Don't spend more money than you've ever had in your bank account to make one. Please just make one. It's the best thing I've ever done for my soul. I love doing it, and it's such an honor. I blew money on these movies expecting to lose all of it, so it's crazy to get any of it back. I didn't know this existed, so this is nice. This was a nice, you know, good for my bank account, so thank you. And I love you guys, and thank you, IMI. This means so much to me.
What you just saw was my speech from the IMI Fest, where I won this award. Very sturdy award, very nice award. And this has been a very surreal experience for me, because earlier this year I received an email, all caps, "You won an award," and it comes with $50,000. And you know, you see that, you're like, okay, what's the scam here? But then they sent like 7 or 8 lines, all caps, "Not a scam, this is real, not a scam." And you know, maybe if you're a scammer, you'd say that once or twice to avoid being too suspicious. So you say it 7 or 8 times, it loops back around to being like, okay, wait, is this something? I looked into it. Past creators I know had won it and given speeches, and I'm like, oh, this is a legitimate thing. And it was very exciting and validating. And Stuart and Elaine, who run the IMI Fest, they founded it. They're 2 scientists who realized that science funding and grants and arts funding and grants weren't being pushed to internet creators, and yet people aging into those fields were growing up and learning just as much on YouTube as they were anywhere else, and in schools or textbooks. And what they're trying to do is create a precedent where work, ambitious, instructive, inspiring work online is validated online and funded online and stays online. Because I think they see, and I see this pattern as well, that the ultimate goal of being an online creator, whether you're an educator or an artist, is to get off the internet as fast as possible. And if you finally make your movie for a studio, you've made it as a filmmaker. And they're seeing, I think that's where we see the most eye to eye, is like, no, being on the internet is beautiful. I say this metaphor often where it's like, no, this isn't a stepping stone for me. I have found my final stone, and I just want to make this stone beautiful, and I want to decorate it and put lovely things on it and encourage other people that, you know, you don't have to go 30 more stones ahead into corporatism, if that's even a word. You could just stay on this beautiful stone that is the internet, that is YouTube, and try to make it better, try to make it more purposeful. And ultimately, this was such a validating thing to receive, because I did this 12 movie project knowing damn well this money was disappearing. I raised about $100,000 and spent all of it on the movies. And, you know, YouTube ad revenue, you only make so much. Each of those movies made like $200 on ad revenue. And you know, I had Patreon funding as well, which really, really helped the project. So I'm very grateful for all my Patreon supporters. But ultimately, this money was gone in my eyes. It was not coming back. These movies are not being made as products to be sold and recoup their losses. They are just being birthed into the world. And then I receive an email. I'm getting $50,000, which is like almost this beautiful sign from the universe that I bet on myself and it paid off. And the universe in this case are Stuart and Elaine at the IMI Fest. But ultimately, it was very validating. And I think in life, I have found that to be true. That when you bet on yourself and you work through the doubts and you work through the times where the universe doesn't pat you on the back, eventually you will be rewarded for believing in yourself and betting on yourself. Does that mean financially? Maybe not. Does that mean in some way you will become fulfilled and more confident and more self-assured in what you're doing? Absolutely. And ultimately, yeah, these movies already existed. I was done with the project. If I never received $50,000 in an award, I would have been happy. But this was just a very nice icing on the cake moment of validation. And all that money, all $50,000, is going right into my next movie, which is also going to release on YouTube and lose all that money. But, you know, that's the way I love to do it. I don't really like film as a for-profit medium. I think it's so lame that every loss, every penny poured into a movie is like something you're desperately trying to get back. It's like, no, were you able to survive while you made it? Did you and your friends have fun? Is the product complete and out there? Great. Now move on and figure out how to fund the next one. Do you need funding? How much funding? Figure that out. I don't think we need to have this medium always be this like stock market of investments versus what you make back. You know, I'm happy to lose money if it means I get to create something like the Diarrhea Brothers. $15,000. Yeah, Diarrhea Brothers is never going to make $15,000. Maybe if we sold merch with the logo on it, we could get closer. But that's just not the goal of these projects. But nonetheless, it's a very fulfilling thing to have people see your work, seek it out, seek you out, tell you what you did. It is a worthwhile, impressive endeavor in their eyes. And that's what the IMI Fest did for me. I'm very grateful. There's no strings attached to the money, so don't worry about me having to shill some political message or something like that. This is just a grant for validation's sake, I suppose, and that's a very rewarding thing. And maybe just maybe having an award like this will encourage people to back internet creators who aren't trying to leave the internet, and maybe just having an award like this will encourage people to leave the slot machine and make something very ambitious and meaningful. And this is not to say go make your passion project and you will receive an award. I don't think you should like be making stuff now to try to win an award like this, but maybe just that sort of validation will encourage people to be ambitious and take big swings. Because, you know, a lot of people still to this day are like, I receive comments all the time that are like, what is he doing with these movies, man? Doesn't he see the views are so down? It's just so missing the point of what I'm doing, willfully being ignorant and not curious, and that's okay. It's hard to be curious when you have so many people shouting and yelling for your attention and very convincing people like Mr. Beast. And anyways, I just wanted to share with you guys, I think it was a cool moment where I bet on myself and the universe gave me a hug. And gave me a hug that is going to help me pay my friends to work on this animated movie, which is still in production. It's going to be done hopefully by next fall is my ambitious deadline. We will see. It's a year plus project. It's huge. But look forward to that. And thank you to the IMI Fest. Go check out the other speeches on their channel. And yeah, thank you guys. Have a nice day. I love movies. Bye-bye.